If I hand you a warm cup of water right now, how do you know if it was heated on a stove or just stirred really, really fast? Seriously, think about it for a second. Picture this. I've got two identical cups of water. To cup A, I add 10 kilojoules of heat using a flame. On cup B, I do 10 kilojoules of mechanical work by just violently stirring it with a paddle. If you look at them, measure their temperatures, or run any test you can think of, can you actually tell which is which? It sounds like a trick question, right? Well, by the end of this explainer, you are going to understand exactly why that puzzle is so mind-bending. We're going to master the real physics of heat, the exact units we use to measure it, and its incredibly surprising connection to mechanical work. I promise you're never going to look at a boiling pot of water or even a nutrition label on your food the exact same way again. Okay, before we solve the puzzle, we have to clear up a massive misconception. People use the words temperature and heat interchangeably all the time in everyday life, but in physics, they are not the same thing. Think of it like a giant water tank. Temperature is like the water level inside that tank. It's a state. It just tells you how high the energy is right now. Heat, on the other hand, is the water actively flowing into or out of the tank. You wouldn't say a tank holds flow, right? You say it holds water. In the same way, objects do not hold heat. So, let's dive right into the formal definition. The absolutely crucial thing to remember is this. Heat is the spontaneous transfer of energy due to a temperature difference. That's literally it. And notice what isn't in that definition. There are no tiny microscopic hands pushing things, no mechanical force acting over a distance. It's purely the transfer of energy that happens naturally, simply because one thing is hotter than another. The energy just flows until everything balances out. Let's walk through an everyday example to really lock this in. Step 1. You grab a warm, soft drink and drop an ice cube into it. They have totally different starting temperatures, so they are not in equilibrium. Step 2. Energy spontaneously transfers from that warmer soda into the colder ice. That transfer process, that right there is heat. And finally, step 3. They reach what we call thermal equilibrium. The melting ice and the drink settle at the exact same temperature, and that active transfer of energy, the heat, stops completely. All right, quick check to see if you're with me. When that heat transfers into the ice, is the energy now stored as heat? No. Remember our water tank analogy from earlier? Objects do not hold heat. Once the energy actually makes it into the system, we call it internal energy. A system has a well-defined internal energy, which is what makes its temperature rise or causes it to melt, but it never has a stored heat content. The word heat is strictly reserved for the active transfer itself. Now that we understand this basic idea of energy on the move, let's look at how we actually measure it. Since heat is a form of energy, its official standard unit is the joule, represented by a capital J. But you've probably heard of another unit, right? The calorie. One scientific calorie with a lowercase c is defined as the exact amount of energy you need to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius. For larger amounts, we just scale it up and use the kilocalorie, which heats 1 full kilogram of water by 1 degree. And this brings us to a massive real-life confusion you've definitely experienced, probably without even realizing it. Notice the huge number 1,000 here. When you grab your favorite snack and look at the nutrition label and it says 150 calories, those are actually kilocalories. The food industry uses a capital C on the box to try and distinguish it, but 1 food calorie is actually 1,000 scientific calories. So that innocent little 150-calorie snack, it actually contains 150,000 real calories of energy. Kind of wild when you think about it like that, isn't it? Now, you might be wondering, okay, I get that a hot stove adds heat and changes the temperature. But going back to your very first question, how on earth can just stirring water heat it up the same way? A stove actively transfers heat because it's hotter than the water. But stirring, that's just moving stuff around. How does doing physical, mechanical work act exactly like heat? To answer that, we have to talk about James Prescott Joule and his incredibly famous experiment. Here's what he figured out. He realized that mechanical work can transfer energy into a system just as effectively as heat can. He set up this brilliant rig with falling weights attached to a string. As the weights fell, they lost gravitational potential energy. That energy converted into kinetic energy, which spun a paddle inside a tightly insulated container of water. The spinning paddle created friction and turbulence, bouncing the water molecules around and directly increasing their internal energy. And guess what happened? The temperature of the water went up. Absolutely no flame involved. Wait, this is important, so you might want to write this down. Joule's experiment proved something totally revolutionary. It's called the mechanical equivalent of heat. He calculated the exact mathematical bridge between physical work and heat transfer. To get the exact same temperature increase as adding 1 kilocalorie of heat from a flame, you need to do exactly 4,186 joules of mechanical work. This single number proved that heat and work are just two different ways of doing the exact same thing, changing a system's internal energy. Let's ground this with one more quick real-life example. We all know that adding heat to an ice cube melts it, right? That's a phase change driven by energy transfer. But thanks to Joule's discovery, we know we don't actually need a hot stove to melt it. If you take an ice cube and just rub it violently against a rough table, the mechanical work done by the friction will melt the ice too. The physical work you're doing transfers energy right into the ice, bumping up its internal energy until it turns from a solid into liquid water. Before we wrap up, let's quickly summarize the key takeaways here. Number 1, heat is the spontaneous transfer of energy caused solely by a temperature difference. Number 2, mechanical work is a totally distinct method that also transfers energy into a system. Number 3, both of these are measured using energy units like joules or kilocalories. And 4, the mechanical equivalent of heat shows us that 1 kilocalorie is equal to exactly 4,186 joules. Heat and work are just two completely different roads that take you to the exact same destination. Which brings us right back to our opening puzzle. If I hand you a warm cup of water, was it heated on a stove or stirred really fast? If heat and work both change internal energy in the exact same way, how can you ever tell the difference? Well, the fascinating answer is you can't. Once that energy gets inside the system, it's just internal energy. The water has absolutely zero memory of whether it got that energy from a hot flame or a spinning paddle. It's a pretty profound reminder of how brilliantly interconnected physics really is. If you found this mind-bending, I highly recommend you check out our next explainer on thermodynamics to see where this incredible